Weather outside, right? My idea for today, um, as you know, I'm always kind of all body because I really want to flow. Um, uh, the other day, it's a happy story. My neighbor knocked on our door. He's got this bulldog. He puts a gold chain on it and everything. And one day, it got out, and I noticed it because our dogs were barking. And ran across the street, um, put the little bungee cord thing that they have just as extra leverage, you know. And so he came up to our house the other night, Monday night, and knocked and said, "Hey, have you seen Popo?" I go, "No, I haven't, but I've kind of been in and out today." Um, he went missing, and I was heartbroken. Even my daughter was like, "We gotta find this dog. Like, we gotta go around the neighborhood." I'm like, "Babe, it's 7 o'clock at night. Like, what?" Yesterday. So I talked to Caesar today. I took my dogs for a quick walk in between meetings, and I said, "What happened?" Because he was afraid it was going to be taken. Um, he's kind of right on the corner. And he said, sure enough, someone found him wandering down the street, took him to a rescue in Golden. Okay, thank God, right? I was just thinking about how thankful for the smallest things ever, right? Because I was heartbroken for this guy. It's not even my dog, right? I don't know this neighbor well. Hi, hey, you know, raking leaves, going to catch mail. So I was just thinking about how wonderful it would be to have just the most present gratitude for the fact that we are even here and can move. We might be sore one day, we might be tired one day, we might not be feeling it one day, but we're still here so we can move. So anytime you're like, I don't know if I should go to my yoga mat, you should say, well, Carrie's neighbor found her dog. So, right? No, just kidding. So I was just thinking about that, just the smallest little things. Let's start and see if you can sit on a block. I was just thinking some of the smallest things we can be thankful for. The wonderful cup of coffee I had this morning. Start to just take those big, deep inhales and exhales, even being thankful for the breath, right? Being thankful for being able to connect both mind and body, I think are huge. So start to take some big inhales and exhales. So feel this long line of energy all the way from the crown of your head as you inhale, down your spine as you exhale. And it's funny too, even my daughter kept asking, hey, can you call Caesar? Has he gotten his dog back? So when I picked my dog at school yesterday, I said, hey, guess what? Papo's back in the yard. And she says, yeah. She was so excited. So think about how life can change so fast, or how we forget about the small celebrations versus some of the really large, impactful ones. Take a big inhale breath. Slowly exhale it all out. Take a big inhale, fill up. Big open mouth exhale. Take one more big inhale breath. Hand open, fist over your heart. Take the other one. Just feel the heartbeat, feeling present. Being thankful for this vessel that we have to move and connect. Feel better physically, but to alleviate some anxiety, maybe slowing down the thoughts in our brain. Inhale, breath, reach arms up overhead. Back to heart center, Samasthiti. Two more just like that, we'll add on. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale, reach up. This time, twist right. We'll pause before we switch sides. So with the block under your hips, you can use that as an extension of your spine. So spider tipping your fingers, then you can use the left hand across your body to really leverage. Back, sit up tall, inhale. All right, we're coming back to center. Inhale, arms up overhead. And then we're going to twist left for a few breaths. So same thing here. Roll the shoulders back, gaze past the left shoulder. Your heart follows your gaze. Finding the twist, pulling your belly in so you have an active seat, but you're also creating space by pulling the navel towards your spine to deepen the twist. Now we move and breathe. Inhale, reach up. Exhale to the right. Come back to center, inhale. To the left. One more just like that each side. Inhale, center. Right, exhale. Inhale, center. Take it to the left. All right, come back to center. Find tabletop. Take the block in between your legs. High inner thighs. So a little effort before the ease. You're going to curl the toes once your fingers are spread wide and shoulders stacked over wrists. You're going to hover the knees. So fire up the quads. This would be great for where we're going later in class to really fire up the legs and heat the quads. So start pulsing. Let's do 6 times. After those 6 times, drop your knees and we can find Anhatasana, puppy pose, or extension stretch. Keep the block between your thighs. And then just melt your heart. Soften your heart, being grateful for our practice, being grateful for the ability to be here on our mats today. In this Anhatasana, I want you to take a couple more breath cycles. And then we'll meet in downward facing dog with the block still in between our thighs. Let this feel really good. Do what you need for your practice today. I say this often, but what you need out of your practice today might be totally and 100% different than what you needed out of your practice yesterday. And sometimes you don't even realize what you need out of your practice today. So maybe the simple act of being thankful for what we can do on our mats today can be the focus. Take a big breath in this downward facing dog. Keeping the block between your thighs, forward fold back of your space. So walk your hands and still squeeze the block. So think about this, being mindful here. I know we take certain transitions for granted or just cycle through them as a passing point. In towards one another, so you're trying to squeeze the block. Think about how that engages not only that hamstring length, but the quads that support the knees, pressing down through the big toe mounts, maybe lifting the toes, crown of head is heavy. And with the block between your thighs, you can also generously bend your knees, but you can still kind of keep your pelvic bowl aligned and you're not doing too much of an anterior tilt. Good. Now with the flat back, think about how engaging as you come up to Tadasana, engaging the legs and then still squeezing the block so you don't have too much of this or tucking the tailbone too much. It's almost like you've got that neutral spine and pelvic bowl. Inhale, reach up, Tadasana. Hands at heart, just pause for a moment. Roll the shoulders back. Take a breath in. Big old breath out. Good. All right, Tadasana, come back up. And then fold forward, fold in half, exhale. So we're going to toe heel the feet out, wide, and take the block right below your face. So we're going to find a twist to the right. Plant left hand, block at whatever level, right arm reaches up. Roll that wrist. Pull the left hip back a little bit. It wants to take the twist with you. Good. Take a big breath in. Exhale, release, switch sides. Left hand plants, or right hand plants. Left arm reaches up. Roll out that wrist now. Take a big, big, big inhale breath. Exhale, release. Move your block. Take it to the back of your space just in case you need it there. And then curl into a tiny little ball. Breathe into your back body. So, for us women in the room, it's our water, it's our lunar, it's our cooling. So breathe into that space in between the shoulder blades as you feel your rib cage expand. Good. Downward facing dog. Walk your hands to the front. And this is just a regular stance. So take a big breath in and then let it all go. Exactly. Inhale, reach the right leg high. Exhale, step it through for a lunge. We're going to do some cat-cows here. So take an inhale breath. Let your left hip be really heavy so you're getting into the left hip flexor, but then let the heart be light and open through the collarbones. And then exhale, little mini cat pyramid pose. Pull the right hip back. So we'll move in and out of this. So inhale, pull the heart through, hips heavy. Exactly. And then exhale, hips back, dome through the thoracic cavity. Good. One more. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat. Good. Inhale is a half lift, so you're rebending the knee and stepping the left foot to meet right. And then fold in half. Good. Tadasana mountain pose. We're just going to find a simple side body stretch here. So whatever grip, up and over to the right. Exactly. Love the variations. Come back to center. Up and over to the left. Good. Come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Hands through heart center once again. Then curl into a tiny ball. This time you're at the top of your space. High plank, step back. Inhale. If it's safe for you to be on your bellies, ride your entire exhale breath down until your belly's to the mat. Feel the elbows graze your side bodies and then uncurl your toes once you make that connection. 3 rolling cobras here. So inhale, lift up. Draw the elbows back like they're handlebars and I'm pulling them back, and then exhale, release. 2 more times. Inhale, fire up the quads and the glutes to support the lower lumbar. Exhale, release. 1 more. Inhale, lift up and draw navel towards spine. Exhale, release. Press up either through tabletop or high plank to down dog. Take a few breaths here, reset before we do the other side to balance it out. And let it feel really good. Release what you just did. Take an inhale breath, lift the left leg high. And then step it through lunge. Same thing here, prepare for cat-cow. So on the inhale breath, let the right hip be really heavy now. So you're exaggerating it. And then exhale, cat pose. Send the left hip back. Good. Inhale, pull the heart through, hips forward and down, heart light. And then exhale, hips back. Send the breath to your hamstrings too. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, press back. Gaze forward, step forward, rebend the left knee, right foot meets left. Fold. Good. Tadasana, mountain pose, reach up. Good. Beautiful, you guys. Side body stretch to the right. Yeah, you can change up the grip too. Inhale, explore it to the left. Come back to center, reach up. Pull forward, fold in half, exhale. Once again, curl into a tiny little ball on the inhale breath. Heels up, chin towards chest, forehead towards knees. Exhale, high plank. And pause on the inhale to stack the shoulders over the wrists. Crown of head reaches forward, open up the airway, and then lower all the way down. 3 more rolling cobras here. Inhale, lift up. Good. Awesome, you guys. Exhale, release. Exactly that. 2 more times. Inhale. Yeah, ladies. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. This time, child's pose. So great counterflexion of the spine after the spine strengthening. Roll out the head, massage the third eye. Find whatever variation you'd like with the fingers or the arms. I want you to take at least 3 breaths though. Once you take at least 3 breaths, we'll meet down facing dog. We'll get in the first part of our flow. So we are moving a little funky, but I want you guys to really stay present in that act of just being thankful we're here. So we're not just going through the motions. So this is kind of a more creative flow. Hopefully not complicated. Take a big breath in. Let it go. Big breath in. Let it go. Inhale, send right leg high. Step it through, foot between hands, but drop the back knee, so it's a little different than we were doing before. Inhale, Anjalayasana, crescent moon. So if you need to back out of it to kind of scissor the inner thighs towards one another to stay lifted and then move into it, that's why we did those cat-cows to begin with, so our hips are nice and open. Take a big breath in. And then half splits. If you need to, you can grab the block at the back of your space or have a block travel with you from the front of your space. So whatever level, if it means stacking hips over knees, or you can uncurl the left toes and sit your hips towards your heel. Whatever feels good for you, but just dial the right hip back. Looks like if you're looking at your foot, it looks like your leg is getting shorter, but you're actually aligning your hips more. For some extra sensations here, you can dial the toes to the right and the left, getting into the outer hips as well as the hamstrings. And then both of you guys take a big breath in. Lunge, breath out. Curl the back toes under, pop the left knee. And then half lift, step forward. Fold. Good. Utkatasana, chair pose. Silo reach high. Sit your hips back. So essentially, you want to see your toes if you gaze down. Utkatasana though, is you're pulling the shins forward, but you're sitting the hips back. You're reaching the arms up, but you're pulling the shoulders down. So I'm thinking like a big lightning bolt with your body. And the chance for drinking bird if you want to lift the heels. Roll the shoulders back. It's like you're trying to connect the pinkies behind you. Take a big breath in. Release the heels, breath out. Tadasana, inhale. Let that feel good on the legs. Now open up your heart. Reminding you to be thankful for what you have. Inhale, reach up, Tadasana. Back to Utkatasana, airplane arms. Big transition here. Step left foot back, crescent. Lift up. Good. Now find your crescent. We'll add on to the next part of our flow. Play with either spiking up the heel to fire up this quad, or tilting the pelvic bowl forward by bending the knees slightly. It's what suits you. Inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Right heel bisects left arch. We're going to keep this stance. In a few breaths, we'll move in and out of a star pose variation, okay? You can flip the palms to open up the shoulders. Think spiraling both inner thighs. So that's why I prompt to ground through the knife edge of the left foot, not just the focus of drawing the right knee to the right pinky toe, okay? Breath in, breath out. Keep the right toes pointing forward. Inhale, star pose. Back leg stays straight and strong the whole time. And then warrior two. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale, warrior two. Now star, rotating all 10 toes in. Take up space. Inhale. Spill over the legs, Prajurita Padasana. You can hang out here for a few breaths, okay? So in your Prajurita Padasana, you can play with lifting the heels. You can find a few lateral lunges back and forth using the length of your mat. Do your thing. Let's bounce it out, front to back, and find center again. Take a half lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in that space you just created. Lift halfway, listen to the transition. Lunge to the front, exhale. So you're gonna plant the hands, three-legged downward facing dog, right leg high. Into a hip opener, bend the knee, roll it open. You have a few breaths, let the left heel melt. You can make big circles with the knees, or little circles with the toes to get into those joints, or simply rest, heel towards left glute. Think about the front body, not just the hip opener. If you press down through the right hand just as much as the left, you actually get into the front body, side body more too. One more breath. Exhale it all out. Inhale, lift the right leg high to square out the hips. Downward facing dog. You have time if you want to cycle through a connecting flow if your body's craving it. Take a big breath in. Even bigger breath out. Send left leg high now. Step it through lunge, set it up for crescent moon. Drop the right knee this time. And then when you are ready, you can even hook the left thumb to pull the hip back. And then come on up. Reaching the arms up. So hips forward and down like the lunge with the cow pose. But this time our knees on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, half splits, Ardha Hanuman. So your variation, you can play with a couple of variations. So I like to start with my hips over my knees first. Test it out. Pull the hips into alignment, and then I like to sit down. If you want to dial the toes to the right and the left, or flex and point, whatever feels good, just send your breath to the back of your left leg. Exhale, lunge, crawl forward, curl the right toes under, pop the right knee, up, half lift, back is flat. Inhale, fold, spine is long. Utkatasana, chair pose once again. So sit it back into your heels and prevent yourself from clenching the mat with your toes. Maybe lift them up. Airplane the arms, chance for your second set of drinking bird. Think about all those stabilizer muscles. Jill, we were just talking about all that balance that we have as yogis, building those stabilizer muscles around our ankles, our knees. Good. Release the heels, Tadasana, inhale. Open up the heart, exhale. Inhale, neutral spine. Back to chair plane, bend the knees. Send the hips back, reach back. Good. Now right leg steps back, so left leg in front. So set this up since this is the first crescent on this side, okay? So play with bending the knees, spiking the heels, pulling the left hip back, pulling the left shin forward. Yeah, you guys look really good. Inhale, warrior two. Surf it out. I like to play with a little bit. So you don't want too short of a stance, you don't want too long of a stance, so then that way you're not overtaxing the knees. Right foot now. Think about that spiraling of the inner thighs. Inhale. Exhale. 3 stars. Inhale, keep the left toes where they are, reach up. Rebend the left knee only. Warrior 2. Good, 2 more. Inhale, stack. Exhale, warrior 2. Last one, inhale. Beautiful, ladies. Exhale. Star pose, toes inside, and then fold the Prasarita. Once again, you have a few moments here to just hang out, explore something different. Stillness with the crown of your head nice and heavy. You can even interlace your fingers behind the base of your skull, right behind your head. Or little as you need. Center. Release the fingertips to the earth. Lift halfway. Inhale. We flow with the breath. Exhale. Fold. Nice breath. Inhale. Lift. Lunge. Plant the hands. Downward facing dog. Kick left leg high. And then we're going to bend the knee. Find a hip opener here. One side might be a lot different than the other. Not only with previous injuries, but even the way we sit. Or maybe we pop one hip to the side when we stand, when we're hanging out. Create some movement if you'd like. You have 2 more breaths. Let it go. Exhale. Square out the hips. Left toes reach straight up. Downward facing dog. You can cycle through your connecting flow if you'd like. Head to mid plank to an up dog, down dog variation, or another cobra. Hang out here for a few breaths once again. Let go of something if you're still holding on to it. So before we get into the next part of our flow, we're just going to play with opening through our shoulders, getting into our core a little bit. So take it to your level, or modify if you need to, okay? So 3 rolling planks. Lift onto your tippy toes a lot. Lift your heels. And just like a big wave going to shore, you take that cat rounded spine you've been doing, shoulder stack over wrists. And then like you're about to do a chaturanga, take the shoulders past the wrists, tippy toes, cat round your spine, hips high, down dog, and let the heels mount. So you're going to take 2 more. Go slow, right? Your entire inhale breath forward. Go slower than you think you need to. That way it's intentional. Down dog. So it's helping us be present if we really focus breath to movement. 1 more. Roll forward. And then hips high. All right. Roll forward into a high plank. And pause. If you need to come to your knees at any point, that's okay. Forearm plank. Try to really root down through the palms and make an 11 with your arms. The more you splay out your elbows, the more you're relying on the larger muscle groups. Work on some of the smaller ones. 3 more breaths. Kick the heels back, fire up the quads, let the legs do some of the work. 1 more big breath in. Start to walk yourself into dolphin on the breath out. So toes walk towards the elbows, and you can melt your heart by taking your ears towards your biceps. One more huge breath in. Exhale, knees tap. Either child's pose or another anahatasana, puppy pose. Extension stretch. Great job, you guys. So once again, I want you to take a few breaths. Grab some water if you need to. Do your thing. And then work into the next progression of our flow. So this is where we might move a little weird. So I'll try to guide you through it. Okay, pizza. We're going to add on. Just a couple of additions to get deeper. So take an inhale breath, reach the right leg high, adding on already, knee to nose, exhale. Inhale, right leg high. Step it through low lunge, setting up for crescent once again, but we're going to add from there. So drop the back knee, crescent moon. If you're going to take a twist with me, you can find an open twist, or you can take your hands to heart and just lift up just a little bit. Roll the shoulders back, lean the torso forward without rounding, and then find a prayer twist. So great for spinal mobility, but also for detox sake. So massaging all the internal organs with the compression. Take a giant breath in. Good. Lunge, exhale, release. Skipping half splits. Step forward, half lift. Left foot meets right. And then fold, exhale. Utkatasana, chair pose. Same thing, airplane your arms, but we're going to add on. Start to interlace your fingers or find ragdoll arms behind you by hooking the elbows. And then as you shoot straight up, Tadasana, you're going to find a chest expansion. So I want you guys to think about gluing the palms towards one another, not locking out the elbows to shove into it, muscle into it. You're pressing the forearms together. You actually get more of a chest expansion release. Good. Bend the knees generously if you need to. Forward fold with your chest expansion. Crown of head is heavy. Let it hang. For this round, if you want to take knuckles left gaze past your right shoulder, you can bend the left knee. And then come back to center if you want to switch sides. Knuckles to the right, gaze left. Come back to center. Release the knuckles to your sacrum first. That's a safe way to release that bind. Forward fold, inhale, lift halfway. And then exhale, step left foot back, lunge. High crescent, meeting where we were before. But we're going to add on. We're going to find a nice heart opener here. So open up the heart. Keep pulling the right shin forward. Inhale, neutral spine. Warrior two, exhale. So gaze at me real quick. This is the transition. Just stay in your warrior two for a second. If you have hip stuff or bursa sac stuff in your hips, just be careful because we're going to close off the hip. So stay here. I'll show you. We're going to reach forward and then bring the hip into alignment. So you're closing out the hip in internal rotation and then coming back to warrior two, okay? So take an inhale breath. Stay here, exhale. Inhale, start to lift the left heel up, rotate the left hip forward, close off the hip and reach forward. And then exhale, spin the back foot flat. Do you guys feel that? Good. Reach forward. Warrior two. One more. Perfect, you guys. Does that feel okay for you? Okay. Warrior two. Star. Inhale. Prasarita, exhale. Take a half lift, inhale. Fold. Nothing changes here. Inhale, lift halfway. Lunge to the front. Pivot over the right shoulder. Three-legged downward facing dog. Right leg high. Runner's lunge, exhale. For this round, before we flow, second round, you can take a block just above the kneecap of the left leg. You can take your forearms down to a block. You can also drop your left knee. You have 3 breaths here, okay? You can also find a nice quad release by bending the knee, taking the knee to the mat, reaching the right arm high. You have time to bend the knee and capture the left foot with the right hand. Breath, just so we can really get into it if you want. One more breath in. One more breath out. Good. Come back to center. It was 3-legged downward facing dog. Once again, another chance for a hip opener. But if you want to add a flip dog, wild thing, step the right foot right. Keep the heel lifted, hips lifted, heart light. Take a big breath in. Downward facing dog. If you need another connecting flow, you can go for it here. And then big breath in. Let it go. We'll go slow on this side, just like we did the other. Work on the alignment so we can flow, taking the thought out of it the next round. Inhale, left leg high. Knee to nose. Inhale, left leg high. Good job. Step it through lunge. Drop the back knee now. Good. Anjalayasana. If you're taking that compressive twist, ease out of the lunge a little bit, roll the shoulders back, and then tilt the heart forward. See how I pull my left hip back? And then find shore for a twist. Seated twist. Draw the belly in to create more space for the twist. And massaging the internal organs. Breath in. Big old breath out. Good. Lunge pose. Curl the back toes. Gaze forward, step forward, half lift. And then fold. Utkatasana, chair, Utkatasana. I can enunciate, I promise. Chair pose. Airplane in the arms. Reach behind you, maybe find funky grip this time. Interlace the fingers. Shoot straight up, legs nice and straight. Heart reaches up as the knuckles reach down. Inhale. And then fold forward with your chest expansion. Hang here to center, or take the knuckles to the right again. Back to center. Knuckles up and over to the left. Back to center. Gentle release, fingers to the mat. Lift halfway. Step right foot back lunge. Crescent, inhale, come on up. Open up the heart. Up. And then warrior 2. So set it up first. Good. So same idea here. Now you know what to anticipate. Pause, breath in. Let it go. Good. As you start to bend the right elbow, the right heel lifts and follows. Come back to center, close off the hip. Good. And then let the arm trace over your body once again, warrior 2. No, it takes a lot of focus here. Inhale, pivot forward, close off hip. Externally rotate, warrior 2. One more. Inhale, pull forward. Warrior 2. Exhale. Great job. Awesome. Star pose. Inhale. Prasarita Padmasana. Exhale. You're going to take a half lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Rebend the knee, lunge, exhale. 3-legged downward facing dog once again to runner's lunge. Left leg outside of the left hand. So I gave you about 4 breaths on the right side. Let's balance it out. 4 breaths on the left. Try to do the same to balance it out unless you have an injury preventing you to do so. Quad stretch, you have some time here if you want to add it. Release. Hands plant, three-legged downward facing dog, left leg high. Another chance for a hip opener. Stay here or flip your dog, find wild thing. Really good, ladies, awesome. 2 more breaths. Breathe in. Good, and then downward facing dog, breathe out. Take a few breaths in this downward facing dog and then find child's pose before we flow. One last push, okay? Let it feel really good. Once you find your child's pose, allow yourself to just hang out and let it feel really good. Take at least 1 more breath cycle. All right, let's flow. Downward facing dog. All right, so enjoy taking the fat out of it. We've been in this flow. You know where we're going. You know how to anticipate it. So just try to stay present. You don't have to worry about the next transition. We have this. Take a breath in. Let it go. Inhale, send right leg high. Knee to nose. Stay with the breath. Stay connected. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Set it up. Crescent moon first. You can stay here. You can kind of open twist or purr to a second set on this side. We're going to pause for a few breaths to really deepen into it. You can find the benefits of it. Take a breath in. Let it go. Inhale, Anjalayasana. Come back to center. Lunge, exhale. Pop the back knee. Half lift, step forward. And then fold. Utkatasana, chair pose. Airplane the arms. Interlace the fingers. Legs straight, chest expansion, knuckles down. Fold forward, fold in half. We're going to stay here for 2 breaths. So we're not rushing the transition. Knuckles up, crown of head down, inhale. Release the fingers to the earth, exhale. Lift halfway. Step left foot back, lunge. Crescent, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Inhale, internally rotate the hips. Come forward. Exhale, open back up to warrior 2. Good. 2 more. 1 more. Open up warrior 2 last time. Start pose. Prasarita Padasana, exhale. Lift halfway. Continue to flow. Stay connected. Find your Vinyasa fold. Lift halfway. Lunge front. Pivot over your right shoulder. 3-legged downward facing dog. Step wide, runner's lunge. Keep the back knee lifted. Just find a lunge twist, right arm high. So we can stay connected to the breath. Exhale, lunge. Three-legged into a hip opener, right leg high, bend the knee, roll it open. Second time, if you want to try, to flip your dog again. Good. Come back to center. Downward facing dog. Pedal it out or find your connecting flow. Left leg high. Inhale. Sorry, Carolyn. Left leg high. Knee to nose. Left leg high. Step it through. Low lunge. Find crescent moon, Anjalayasana. Stay right here. Or find the prayer twist on the exhale. One more full breath in. Let it all go. Come back, crescent moon. Inhale. Exhale, lunge, pop the back knee off the mat. So you're gazing forward, you're stepping forward, half lift, back is flat. Fold, spine is on. Utkatasana, chair pose. Airplane the arms. Maybe find the funky grip again. If you can remember which. Reach up, chest expansion, fold forward with the chest expansion. 2 breaths. Crown of your head is heavy. Lean into the big toe mounds rather than dumping all the weight in the heels. Inhale. Release the fingertips to the earth. Exhale, forward fold. Lift halfway. Step right foot back, lunge. Good. Come up, crescent. Open up the heart. Inhale, crescent. Warrior 2, exhale. Beautiful, ladies. Good. Rotate the hips 3 times. Come forward. And then rebend. Open up, warrior 2. Good. Move forward. So you're just lubricating the hip joint if this is healthy for you. Warrior 2. Open up. Last one. Pivot forward. Warrior 2, exhale. Star pose. Prasarita. Lift halfway. Fold. Lift halfway. Pivot over the front shoulder lunge. 3-legged downward facing dog, left leg high. Runner's lunge on this side, exhale. We're gonna fly the arm, keep the right knee lifted, left arm high. Beautiful, ladies. Exhale, runner's lunge. 3-legged downward facing dog. Find this flip dog action here. Take another breath in. Good, another breath out. 3-legged downward facing dog. Last chance for a connecting flow here. Let's take 3 more breaths in this downward facing dog and then we can meet on our knees. If you need an extra breath in this downward facing dog, please feel free, go for it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to talk about camel pose a little bit, Ustrasana. So it's kind of intimidating when that's called out for class because it's a lot of heart opening, right? It's not spilling back. It's a controlled lean back and heart lift. So I want you guys to try it with a block in your thighs. Keep the toes tucked or uncurl, whatever helps you, okay? Now, squeeze the block just like that first Tadasana where we're trying to really squeeze it. And then tilt the pelvic bowl forward. And I want you guys to simply lean back. We're going to come back out of it, okay? Lift back up. So that's the idea with Camel Ustrasana. Watch me for a second. If I'm just leaning back, I'm not doing anything for myself. See how much closer I got? It's literally then you're using your fingertips. You're not reaching, because you feel like you're about to tip over. Does that make sense? So hug, hug, hug inner thighs. Tilt back. Now lean back. So you can still take your hands, the small of your back, absolutely, especially if that helps keep your heart lifted. Now think about pulling your hips forward more now. Yeah, think about lifting your heart more. Then you can rest your head between your shoulders. If you're really shrugging up your shoulders, you would hear that in my voice because I'm closing off the throat chakra. Take a big breath in. Come out of it just the way you went into it. And then find an embryo pose. So you can take the block out from under you. And this is a really gentle way to recover and find that counter release. Just melting the body, the torso over the thighs. You can capture the knife edge of your feet or simply let the tops of your hand rest on the mat, palms facing up. It's a great way to give yourself just a big old hug to an embryo pose, to being thankful. Some of the smallest little things we can celebrate. Doesn't always have to be grandiose. And think about it, the small things add up. Just being mindful and present for the things that we have. All right, sit back towards your heels and just come back to the mat. And then you can find happy baby. You can also play with your happy baby, whether that is extending one leg, having the other knee bent, and kind of finding these little ninja baby kicks, or interlacing your peace fingers around your big toes to straighten out both legs. Find one last little hamstring stretch. You can rock it out to massage your lower back if that feels okay. To seal in by bringing the knees in towards the chest, forearms around the shins. Give yourself a big hug. You're worthy, you are enough. Thanking our bodies to move us through this practice today. Take a big inhale, full exhale to Shavasana. And I'll take you out in a few minutes, so settle into it. Get the little wiggles out so you can really drop in. Enjoy, you deserve it. This is just as important as any asana leading up to it. Please take as much time as you need in your Shavasana. Having gratitude for our practice, our body, what we have, rather than focusing on the things we don't have. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, coming back to your bodies, flickering that awareness as you deepen the breath. Just breathe in a ton of love and gratitude. Reach the arms up overhead, point the toes to the front of your space. And then exhale, roll over to either side for supportive fetal. So both of you chose the left side. Once again, that's the more feminine and lunar, the more cooling. The moon, the water. Breath in. Big breath out. Brace yourself with your top arm and come up to seated where we started. So we're coming full circle. That's what I love about yoga, that evolution, that cycle. Take your hands to heart and maybe start again by taking one palm on your heart and the other hand on top. Smallest little things we can celebrate. Let's choose not to ignore that. Small little signs that make you happy or make you feel content or secure. Breath in. Let it go. Thumbs to the third eye. Inhale. Bow on the exhales. Wonderful teaching, you guys, today. Hope to see you guys next week. And I'm also teaching not only Thursday,